Hi everyone. So if you have to choose like one decision making video जहाँ पे आपको ओवरऑल सब चीज या सब आइडिया लग जाएगी क्या रूल्स होते हैं किस तरीके से क्वेश्चंस को टैकल किए जाते हैं then this is that video. Okay, you can actually look at this video, try to understand कि किस तरीके से रूल्स का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करके हम प्राइमरली पूरा पेपर सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, राइट? 5 रूल्स बस, इससे ज्यादा याद नहीं रखने हैं. सबसे पहला ये है कि जो आपका क्वेश्चन होता है या फिर स्टेम जो होता है, दैट इज एवरीथिंग, राइट? So question is actually everything. Okay. You can never go against what is being asked in the question. So question में जो पूछा है आप उसको ही हमेशा सच मानेंगे. That is like number one, right? Number two, and I think it's again very important, is stakeholders. Identify the stakeholders and make sure the maximum stakeholders are satisfied. है ना? किसी भी सिचुएशन में क्या क्या स्टेक होल्डर्स है और वो सब सेटिस्फाई हो रहे हैं या नहीं हो रहे, ठीक है, उनको सेटिस्फाई करवाना जो है वो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. थर्ड थिंग इज, एंड अगेन we have to be very pragmatic about the things. We don't have to be emotional. So pragmatic is something, or practical is something which we should always be, not emotional. Fourth thing, again, very important, is we have to understand like what are the short term and long term benefits, right? And if we can see, like, ideally long term benefits is something which we definitely look forward to. So long term may, if something is going to benefit us, then we should go ahead with that, right? Fifth one, you should never be choosing extreme options. Like 90% of the scenarios, extreme options will never be the answers, but 10% of the scenarios it can be. So avoid. I will not say never choose, but you can say avoid extreme options, right? Okay. If you are like, if you feel that okay, extreme options can be the answer in this because nobody else is making sense, then it can be the answer. Otherwise, you have to avoid the extreme options. And you should never skip the hierarchy. Skip the hierarchy means, like, for example, if you have some reservations against your reporting manager, then you should not directly go to the HR. Rather, you just first talk to that manager, right? So you will never skip the hierarchy, right? So never skip the hierarchy. I think these are some of the important things. And now we'll actually get into decision making. Okay. So let's get started with the set one. So this is the set one. It says Sundaram stores operated in a gated community situated about 30 kilometers away from the main town. So there is Sundaram stores, which is about 30 kilometers away from the main town. The store owner, or Sundaram as he was called by everyone, right? The store owner was there, right? He secured a space in the gated society through a competitive bidding process. If there is a gated society, he actually got the store inside that gated community with a competitive bidding process. That there was a competitive bidding process. He's like, yeah, मैं करता हूँ इसको bid and I'll be able to get that seat. The Residents Association, led by Mr. Thangamurthy, selected Sundaram over 3 other bidders based on his willingness to pay the highest rent. Sundaram, you pay more, completely fine. Come here in our gated community, take this office because you have bid the most. Now you are paying us more, so you should be getting this. Desperate to augment his post-retirement income, Sundaram agreed to pay a very high rent, banking on the prospect of generating exceptional revenue from the gated community. Now, this guy, he had uh, he had this post-retirement income, so he wanted to invest that, and that's why he agreed to give very high rent, so that he thought, like, I will generate exceptional revenue, and I will come to first no profit, no loss, and then I will start generating the exceptional revenue. Sundaram was awarded the contract to establish the store with provisions for a review every 3 years, right? So there was a provision that okay, your contract will be renewed every 3 years. Feeling elated during the meeting with the Residents Association to finalize the contract, he enthusiastically committed to offering a 15% discount on all groceries and stationery. सभी groceries और stationery पे मैं आपको 15% discount दे रहा हूँ. किस बात का discount? Why do you need to give a discount? Like, do you really need to give a discount just because you need to make sure कि okay, like, you are elated कि आपको मिल गया है contract, तो आपने सबको दान में दे दिया. बट आपने इतना अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है, इतना ज्यादा आपने इन्वेस्ट किया, आपको रेवेन्यू जनरेट करना है, आपने क्यों ऐसा किया? Cementing goodwill and reinforcing the partnership established through the contract, right? The association was delightedly taken aback by his generous assurance. Sundaram hoped to make up the difference through volume. Although his sales were strong during the initial month, he soon realized that the SUV owning residents of the gated community primarily made their purchases at large branded retail chains in the main town. उसने ये रियलाइज किया कि यार ये जो है ना, SUV owning residents of the gated community, they make their purchases at large branded retail chains in the main town, है ना। उसकी सेल स्ट्रांग थी, बट जो जिनके पास गाड़ियां थी वो लोग बाहर जाते थे, जैसे डीमार्ट से शॉपिंग करने चले गए, ऐसा कुछ हो गया। These stories, these stores offered deeper discounts which he could not afford to compete with. अब ये स्टोर्स उसको ऐसा डिस्काउंट दे देते थे उन लोगों को कि obviously like you know सुंदरम इनसे compete नहीं कर सकता था। However, gradually Sundaram store became their go-to store for daily essentials and occasional urgent big purchases such as replacing a broken mixer grinder. So he was like कि ठीक है, if you don't want to go to the city, don't want to travel 30 kilometers, you want something very urgent, you go to Sundaram stores and you'll get that. Now, while reviewing his monthly accounts, Sundaram realized that he was barely breaking even. Obviously, like, you know, you are giving 15% discount, and then, you know, there are some people are going away to the stores, right? And you are not able to satisfy or cater to the larger audiences. You are barely breaking even, primarily due to the substantial rent he was paying to the Residents Association. He realized that while his sales were stagnated, the rental costs were contractually scheduled to increase every 3 years. ही वॉज डिटर्मिन टू डू समथिंग टू इंक्रीज हिज प्रॉफिट, कि हाँ मतलब मेरे को अपने प्रॉफिट्स को इंक्रीज करना है। मेरी सेल्स स्टैग्नेटेड है, रेंटल कॉस्ट तो बढ़ेगी, तो मैं अपने प्रॉफिट्स कैसे बढ़ाऊं? एवरी नथिंग इज इन माय फेवर। व्हाट इज द मोस्ट सस्टेनेबल वे टू इंक्रीज सुंदरम प्रॉफिट? तो सुंदरम को अपने प्रॉफिट के लिए सबसे सस्टेनेबल वे कौन सा है? क्वेश्चन इज एवरीथिंग। क्वेश्चन वांट्स यू टू अंडरस्टैंड which is the most sustainable way to increase Sundaram's profit. Number one, he should offer to procure items unavailable at his shop from the town on residents' demand. कि just because he wants to increase its profit, so he should start getting the items which are unavailable at his shop, but जिनकी रेजिडेंट्स पे डिमांड है। पहली बात तो ये है कि रेजिडेंट ने कुछ डिमांड करी, मैं लेने जाऊंगा, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट, 30 किलोमीटर अवे, उसका भी तो कॉस्ट इनकर करूंगा, फिर मैं डिस्काउंट भी दे रहा हूँ अलग से। आई एम नॉट गोना जनरेट इनफ रेवेन्यूज, दिस इज एक्चुअली अ वेरी बैड ऑप्शन, राइट? सो दिस इज नॉट अ सस्टेनेबल वे। ही शुड मीट विद द रेजिडेंट्स एसोसिएशन टू नेगोशिएट अ लोअर रेंट। पहली बात तो यह है कि आपने बिड जीती है, यू हैव वन दैट बिड, राइट? यू कैन नॉट गो अगेंस्ट दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अगेन एंड विल बी लाइक प्लीज लोअर डाउन माय बिड। नहीं तो फिर उनको मिलना चाहिए था। अगर आपको ही रेंट लो देना है तो फिर उनको, जो बाकी बिडर्स आए थे, उनको क्यों नहीं मिला? बिकॉज यू वर सपोज टू पे मोर, सो यू कैन नॉट गो अगेंस्ट द ओरिजिनल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, दिस इज आउट। He should introduce cheap Wednesdays where he will sell groceries at 40% discount. Well, you're already giving a discount of 15%. Now you have introduced cheap Wednesdays and you will be selling groceries at 40% discount. मतलब ये तो तबाही मचा दी है। मतलब इसमें प्रॉफिट तो बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा। You'll never ever get a profit. Rather you'll be somewhere be around कि ठीक है यार, ये मैंने क्यों ही business start किया? This is out. This is not even a sustainable way. And what are you trying to achieve out of it? Like nothing. You might be getting more customers, but still you're giving them 15% discount. That's not going to help you. He should advertise about his shop through a leaflet in the gated community. Now you start advertising about your shop through a leaflet in the gated community. But do you think that's the most sustainable way? First of all, you are a part of that gated community, so mostly people know you. In case they don't know you, you basically incur a lot of cost in advertising your shops through leaflets and everything. And until unless people are not going to buy in volumes, because here in the question it was mentioned that Sundaram hoped to make up the difference through volume. And you don't know people are going to buy in volumes or not. So there is a lot of unpredictability. Also, you are going to incur a lot of cost in leaflets and marketing, and you don't know that people will be coming to you or not. Not a sustainable way. Very, it's a sort of a way where you're just thinking that this might happen. If this happens, then this happens. Well, you cannot go on probabilities, right? So D is out. He should remove all the discounts he was offering and sell at the maximum retail price. That exactly why you first of all gave the discount, है ना? अपने चाचा मामा ताए के लड़के थोड़ी हैं जो उनको डिस्काउंट दे दिया, है ना? You basically got that position or that gated community वाला जो store था, you got that because you were paying highest rent. And if you're paying highest rent, that means you have first of all earned that thing because you are the highest bidder. So किसी ने आप पे एहसान नहीं किया है. Nobody has done any favor to you. So why you are doing favor to them by giving 15% discount? You have invested a lot. Now you want returns. So first of all, you should not be giving the discount at first place. So if you remove your discount, right, if you'll be selling it the MRP, and if you know now the people are actually coming and taking it from you, then definitely you should go for it, right? Because that is the most sustainable solution. The prices are going to increase for a rent also. E has to be the correct answer, right? Great. Again, हमने क्या सीखा? एक रूल, क्वेश्चन इज एवरीथिंग. क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग मी टू टेल दैट व्हाट इज द मोस्ट सस्टेनेबल वे. how will I sustain, even not in the short term, but in the long term also? And how will I increase my profits? And what is something which is definitely going to give me results? So that's why E has to be the correct answer. Now let's go to the next one, where we know that to increase his profit, Sundaram diversified into selling vegetables. Now he wanted to increase his profit, and he's like, okay, let's start selling the vegetables. Now earlier, a vegetable vendor used to visit the gated community once every week. The vendor, after seeing dismal sales ever since Sundaram started selling vegetables, stopped visiting the gated community. There was a vegetable vendor who used to come into the society, but then he saw, okay, this guy Sundaram has started selling vegetable. He was like, what should I do now? I should not even go. The residents association did not like losing the rent they were receiving from the vendor. Now, as a resident association, you were actually getting some rent from the vendor because you were allowing that vendor to come into that. तो वो कुछ commission वमीशन होगा जो association को मिल रहा था. Additionally, the maintenance staff of the gated community benefited from the receiving vegetable either for free or at extremely low prices, as the vendor reluctant to take back the unsold stock chose to distribute them at little to no cost. और जो मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ था उनको भी सब्जियां मिल रही थी, क्योंकि जो अनसोल्ड सब्जियां थी वो वेंडर वापस नहीं लेके जाता था, या तो लो कॉस्ट पे दे देता था या फिर फ्री में दे देता था. तो सबका भला है. रेंटल जो रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन है उसका भला है, जो आपका मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ है उसका भी भला हो रहा था. This enabled the Residents Association to retain maintenance staff whose attrition rate was increasing with more gated communities coming up in the nearby area. Now, as a resident association, there is a sabji wala who is coming, who is giving free subsidies or, very less cost wala subsidies to your maintenance staff. And that's why maintenance staff are sticking to your gated community. Otherwise, they could have gone to any other gated community because there is so much competition. और ऊपर से आपको भी पैसा दे रहा है वेजिटेबल वेंडर, तो आप क्यों जाने दोगे उस वेजिटेबल वेंडर को? Which of the following options will best address the concerns of the residents association? Resident association के concern क्या है? That they were receiving something from the vendor, and maintenance staff भी छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा क्योंकि maintenance staff का भी भला हो रहा था. Arising out of Sundaram getting into selling vegetables. Which of the following options will best address the concerns of the residents association arising out of Sundaram getting into selling vegetables? सो ये जो कंसर्न्स है इनको कौन सी चीज एड्रेस करेगी, कौन सी ऑप्शन ऐसी है जो मेक श्योर करेगी कि ठीक है, मेरे दोनों कंसर्न्स जो है कि मुझे पैसे भी मिल रहे हैं और मेरा जो मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ है वो भी स्टिक है क्योंकि उनको सब्जियां भी मिल रही है, ये दोनों चीजें जो है वो सही हो जाए, राइट? द रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन शुड इम्पोज अ फाइन ऑन सुंदरम सिंस ही वाज नॉट कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड टू सेल वेजिटेबल्स. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, you just as a resident association, you cannot impose a fine on Sundaram. Sundaram has his own store, he can choose whatever he wants to sell, and you cannot say that this is under the contract, this was not under the contract, right? Okay. And second thing is, even if you pose a fine, like that is unethical, you cannot go unethical. And third thing, if you imposed a fine also, that will eventually help resident association in some way, not even helping the maintenance staff. So this is out. क्वेश्चन को ही केटर नहीं कर रहा है. द रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन शुड आस्क सुंदरम टू गिव अ स्पेसिफिक क्वांटिटी ऑफ वेजिटेबल्स टू द मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ फॉर फ्री. व्हाई विल ही गिव? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, है ना, अगर ये दे भी रहा है तो मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ का भला हो जाएगा, रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन का तो भला भी नहीं होगा. और सुंदरम करे भी क्यों? एज अ स्टेक होल्डर सुंदरम इज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड. आपका मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव है सारे स्टेक होल्डर सेटिस्फाई होने चाहिए. बी इज आउट. The resident association should discount the rent for the vegetable vendor to increase competition and ask him to continue. रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन शुड डिस्काउंट द रेंट फॉर द वेजिटेबल वेंडर. उसको क्या करना चाहिए कि वेजिटेबल वेंडर को अंदर आने देना चाहिए, ठीक है, और उसको डिस्काउंट कर देना चाहिए रेंट का, है ना. मतलब कि मैं रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन इतना रेंट नहीं ले रही है वेंडर से बिकॉज सुंदरम इज आल्सो सेलिंग द वेजिटेबल, एंड आस्क हिम टू कंटिन्यू. अब अगर वेंडर इज कमिंग इनसाइड द सोसाइटी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन विल बी टेकिंग सम मनी फ्रॉम हिम, नॉट दैट मच, बट ठीक है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा कॉम्पनसेट उनको करना पड़ेगा स्टेक होल्डर सेटिस्फाई करवाने के लिए. दूसरी बात है, सुंदरम इज चेंजिंग नथिंग, सो सुंदरम एज अ स्टेक होल्डर इज ऑल्सो ओके. Maintenance staff will also be getting some sabziyan like they used to get. So maintenance staff is also okay. Resident association is also okay because all stakeholders are satisfied and they are also getting some rent. है ना, कुछ ना से तो कुछ अच्छा है. This is a very good option. C. The resident association should request for bids from various shop owners to open another grocery store in the vacant place. अगर आप various shop owners से वेकेंट प्लेस में ग्रोसरी की डिमांड भी करते हो, मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ का भला कैसे हो रहा है इसमें? दिस इज आउट, राइट? द रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन शुड आस्क सुंदरम टू यूज द erstwhile space for selling vegetables and pay rent for the same. First of all, Why will you do that? Because he has a store, he can sell anything he wants to at that point of time. Second thing is, आप ये करके भी रेजिडेंट एसोसिएशन को पैसा आएगा, मेंटेनेंस स्टाफ को तो अभी भी कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, उनको वो सब्जियां नहीं मिल रही, उनका जो मोटिव था वो सेटिस्फाई नहीं हो रहा है. So he is again out. C is making sure all the stakeholders are satisfied. That's why C is the correct option. I hope this is clear, everyone. Yes. Okay. Let's go to the third question of this set. So it says Sundaram is a happy man now. He has managed to get contracts with two more nearby gated communities. He feels like the grocery king of the suburb. However, his happiness is short-lived as Russian. A new startup begins making waves among gated communities. ठीक है, ग्रोसरी किंग उसको लगता है, लेकिन अब रशिया में कोई नया ऐप आया है gated communities में. This app-based startup promises to deliver any grocery item within 15 minutes, leveraging its own large warehouses. Earlier, Russian was confined to the main town, but now the startup has expanded its delivery services to the suburbs, including gated communities where Sundaram operates. So because it has come now, they are going to leverage their own warehouses. They're going to deliver everything in 15 minutes. Of course, for the suburbs, Russian promises delivery within 60 minutes given the distance, right? लेकिन हाँ, यहाँ पे रशम जो है वो बोलता है कि suburbs में हम 60 minutes में दे देंगे. Though not an official slogan, the rumor in the market is that Russian founder inspired her employees by shouting, "Rush them or crush them, but push them through the door." So rush them or crash them, है ना? But push them through the door. Sundaram started losing business to rush them because आप खुद सोचिए. You are actually getting anything like in the suburbs, you're getting anything which you want in like 60 minutes, right? Okay, and you are getting it at home, right? What should you do? What should Sundaram best do to ensure that his revenues do not come down to Russian, है ना? उसके रेवेन्यूज जो है रशियन की वजह से नीचे नहीं आने चाहिए, सुंदरम को इंश्योर करना है. सुंदरम कैसे इंश्योर करेगा? सुंदरम शुड नॉट बॉदर सिंस द नियरेस्ट टाउन इज 30 किलोमीटर अवे. सुंदरम बॉदर ही ना करे. अगर वो बॉदर ही नहीं करेगा तो उसका सारा बिजनेस चले जाएगा. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली आउट, राइट? Sundaram should employ a few helpers who will do the home delivery of his products within 10 minutes across the 3 gated communities. Sundaram को कुछ helpers employ करने चाहिए जो home delivery करेंगे. Well, that's a great idea because now he is actually incurring some cost, I know. ठीक है, but long term में देखा जाए it's a great solution because अगर आप 60 या 15 minutes को 10 minutes से compare करते हैं, 10 minutes is more faster. ठीक है, across the 3 gated communities में आप home delivery कर रहे हो. Basically you are giving them the leverage which Rustem is also providing but in less time. So basically people will be preferring you and आपको ensure हो जाएगा कि आपका revenue इस वजह से तो कम नहीं, Rustem की वजह से तो कम नहीं होगा because आप वो services जो Rustem provide कर रहा है वो आप खुद भी provide कर रहे हो actually better time में. So this is a great one. Sundaram should demand that his rent be reduced to 1/3. See, rent को आप reduce नहीं करवा सकते. This is against the policy because you already won that bid. Sundaram should start giving discounts on every product he sells. If you start giving discounts on every product you sell, right, then your revenues won't come down. First of all, like you will not be generating enough profit to sustain. As a stakeholder, you will not be satisfied. आपके revenues, आपका ऑडियंस जो है वो इसलिए बिकॉज आ रहा है कि आप डिस्काउंट दे रहे हैं बट आपको फायदा नहीं हो रहा है, देन दैट इज आल्सो नॉट अ गुड स्ट्रेटजी इन लॉन्ग टर्म. Sundaram should explore starting his own delivery startup, finish them. See, you will start your own startup. That's not an immediate solution, right? आपका और ऑब्जेक्टिव भी क्या है? आपका रेवेन्यू नीचे नहीं आना चाहिए. आप नई चीज स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, उसका रेवेन्यू से क्या लेना देना, राइट? आपने तो वो पूरा रेवेन्यू ही लॉस कर दिया. He is not even basically aligning with your question. So answer has to be option B. I hope this is clear. Again, a great set to start with. Now let's actually go to the next one, right? Second question says that second set is Humane Dynamics is a leadership training organization which is based in Mumbai, right? So let's say this is based in Mumbai, established in 2015. The organization is gradually becoming a leader in behavioral training. In the organization, trainers are assigned to training projects based on their expertise. Corporates seek behavioral training services on a regular basis from Humane Dynamics for upskilling their executives, right? Humane Dynamics is headed by the CEO to whom the TAO reports. So basically hierarchy is like they are providing some behavioral trainings and then there is a CEO. CEO ke niche there is TAO. TAO reports to the CEO. Okay. The TAO position rotates among the senior trainers for a fixed tenure. So TAO is no one but a senior trainer. Okay. Now every senior trainer might become a TAO, but after a certain duration. Okay. The CEO assigns this position to a senior trainer. So CEO will decide which senior trainer will become TAO. Companies desirous of hiring Humane Dynamics share their training needs with the organization कि ये हमारी training needs है. The TAO assigns a trainer to the client and TAO के नीचे trainers होंगे. ठीक है. इट कैन बी द सीनियर ट्रेनर्स ऑल्सो एंड द लाइक नॉर्मल ट्रेनर्स एज वेल, राइट. ठीक है. सो टीएओ जो है वो एक ट्रेनर असाइन कर देगा. टिपिकली द सेटिस्फाइड क्लाइंट रिक्वेस्ट फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर ट्रेनर that the client is satisfied, giving repeat business to human dynamics from the same client company. Okay. अगर like as a client, if I'm satisfied with like someone, so I'll ask him कि वही इंसान वापस आना चाहिए. However, the TAO takes the final call, but TAO ही final call लेगा because years of training experience plays a big role in client satisfaction, right? Okay, TAO final call लेता है. Years of training experience plays a big role in client satisfaction, and hence senior trainers conduct most training programs while the newly recruited trainers apprentice with them. So they sort of do some like internship और assistantship एक तरीके से उनके साथ में करते हैं. बट ये चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ट्रेनिंग एक्सपीरियंस, years of training experience plays a big role in client satisfaction, right? However, the senior trainers may have autonomy to decide on who they want to accept as an apprentice. So senior trainer can decide कि मैं इसको apprentice लूंगा या नहीं लूंगा. Further, during a training program, the senior trainer takes most of the sessions, if not all, while the apprentice helps the senior trainers to organize their sessions, right? So, जो बेसिकली असिस्टेंट्स होते हैं वो सीनियर ट्रेनर्स को ऑर्गेनाइज करने में हेल्प करते हैं सेशंस को. ठीक है. एंड ओकेजनली टेक्स अ फ्यू सेशन, और कभी कभी छोटे मोटे सेशंस ले लेते हैं. As these apprentices, they gain experience, they start getting their own independent project, but that typically takes quite some time. So आप एक apprentice, आपको ट्रेनर या सीनियर ट्रेनर बनने में टाइम लगेगा जब आप इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स लेना स्टार्ट कर देंगे. Dheeraj is a senior trainer who takes over as a TAO. So right now the TAO is Dheeraj. As soon as he assumes the office, the CEO shares a concern with him. क्या concern है? We have a lot of young trainers who we have recently recruited. Since they are not known to the outside world, they do not get enough opportunities. Fair enough. Many of them are impatient to prove their mettle. है ना, कि हम प्रूव करेंगे. Unless they are assigned more programs, we risk losing them rapidly. तो उनको programs assign करने पड़ेंगे, नहीं तो वो छोड़ के चले जाएंगे जॉब. Dheeraj knows that his senior colleagues, right, are very good at training, and hence they conduct most of the training programs. धीरज को पता है कि उसके जो सीनियर ट्रेनर्स हैं वो बहुत अच्छे हैं. ठीक है. और इसलिए वो ज्यादा ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं. दे कीप द क्लाइंट सेटिस्फाइड एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंटली ब्रिंग रिपीट बिजनेस. हाउएवर, एज आस्क्ड बाय द सीईओ ने भी तो एक रिक्वेस्ट किया है. धीरज नीड्स टू डू समथिंग टू एनेबल द यंग ट्रेनर्स टू गेट मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड इंक्रीज देयर ट्रेनिंग एंगेजमेंट, कि उनकी ट्रेनिंग एंगेजमेंट्स को बढ़ाया जाए. Which of the following options should Dheeraj execute to best enable the young trainers to get more training opportunities without affecting their relationships with the client companies? कि अभी क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है, धीरज एग्जीक्यूट क्या करे टू बेस्ट एनेबल द यंग ट्रेनर्स टू गेट मोर ट्रेनिंग. यंग ट्रेनर्स का जो कंसर्न है वो भी एड्रेस हो, लेकिन हमारा क्लाइंट रिलेशनशिप भी खराब ना हो. क्लाइंट रिलेशनशिप कैसे खराब नहीं होगा? अगर हम सीनियर ट्रेनर्स जो चाहिए वो वहीं रहेंगे और यंग ट्रेनर्स को भी पार्टिसिपेट करवाना हम स्टार्ट कर दें, तो दोनों चीजें होनी चाहिए. धीरज शुड मैंडेट दैट द सीनियर ट्रेनर्स मस्ट अलाउ द यंग ट्रेनर्स टू टेक एटलीस्ट 30% ऑफ देयर ट्रेनिंग सेशंस. So if this happens, then senior trainers are eventually taking 70% of the session, which is a great chunk, है ना. So रिलेशनशिप खराब नहीं होगा. ऊपर से यंग ट्रेनर्स भी कम से कम 30% तो ले ही रहे हैं. दैट्स ऑल्सो गुड सर्टन अमाउंट ऑफ चंक. तो उनको भी अपना मेटल प्रूव करने का मौका मिलेगा. दोनों स्टेक होल्डर सेटिस्फाइड है, सीनियर्स भी और यंग ट्रेनर्स भी. ए इज एक्चुअली अ गुड ऑप्शन. सो लेट्स पुट इट ऑन होल्ड. Dheeraj should request the repeat clients to switch to the services of the young trainers who bring a lot of energy to their sessions. See, first of all, the clients who are repeating, they're repeating because of the senior trainers who have good experience. Okay, so if you start pitching the young trainers to them, so basically जो organization है वो आप में trust use करना start कर देती है. और basically like you cannot actually suggest them because they are repeat because of you or the senior trainers only. So you cannot give them an alternate options, right? और आप उनकी services को switch नहीं करवा सकते अगर they have repeated because of you only. Dheeraj should assign some of the repeat projects from the satisfied clients with particular senior trainers to the young trainers. रिपीट प्रोजेक्ट जो सेटिस्फाइड क्लाइंट्स है उनसे आप यंग ट्रेनर्स को दे देंगे. दिस इज अगेन बैड. द सोल रीजन फॉर रिपीटिंग वाज बिकॉज इट वाज because of the senior trainers. Dheeraj should request the CEO to urge senior colleagues in giving up some of their existing clients in the interest of others' career. अगर आप अपने existing clients दे देंगे तो प्रॉब्लम क्या होगी कि यंग वाले तो खुश हो जाएंगे लेकिन आप अपना रेवेन्यू लूज करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे, रिलेशनशिप्स गवा देंगे. ठीक है. Dheeraj should explore for those clients who would be comfortable working with the young trainers. धीरज को वो क्लाइंट्स ढूंढने चाहिए जो कंफर्टेबल होंगे वर्किंग विद द यंग ट्रेनर्स. द थिंग इज Uh, सबसे पहले तो है right now you need an immediate solution because it's important for these trainers to actually get onboarded to some project. Now this thing is actually a it's not a very immediate, it's actually a short term or a long term sort of a thing that you are finding those clients and then you are onboarding these young trainers and then you don't know like how they will perform or out they'll not perform. A is eventually a better option. A is also putting them on a good challenging projects as well, or the current project. A is rather an immediate solution than E, so E is out. The answer has to be A. You know? Okay, great. So Dheeraj decided to assign some of the repeat clients at random to their young trainers to address the concerns of the CEO. Oh, धीरज ने actually क्या किया कि repeat clients ही वापस दे दिए young trainers को. But this is wrong, right? Many young trainers appreciated him for giving them more opportunities because young को तो ठीक है, उनको तो अच्छा है. So, Sudha Iyer, a senior trainer popular for her training programs and deceptive communication methods, was surprised to see that some of her long-standing clients were assigned to a young person. See, that is wrong, right? Because वो relationship ही खराब हो रहा है. She was concerned that clients would feel shortchanged, right? Moreover, she was chagrined that she was not even consulted. उसको consult भी नहीं किया. This led to the reduction in a number of training hours. इस वजह से training hours भी reduce हो गए उसके. Humane Dynamics incentivizes trainers to cross a mandated number of training hours every year. Sudha was also concerned about her possible revenue loss. Sudha का revenue loss भी हो रहा है. Sudha wanted Dheeraj to stop assigning established clients to the young trainers. ठीक है. सो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे कंसर्न्स है. जहाँ पे यंग लोग खुश हो रहे हैं, सुधा इज कंसर्न बिकॉज ऑफ टू थिंग्स. नंबर वन की रिलेशनशिप खराब हो रहा है क्लाइंट के साथ. दूसरा उसके जो नंबर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग आवर्स है वो कम हो रहे हैं, जिस एंड नंबर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग आवर्स इज इक्वल टू द incentivization which she gets. Which of the following actions would best help Sudha to stop Dheeraj from assigning her programs to the young trainers? That you should stop, like, this action will help Sudha to stop Dheeraj from assigning her programs to the young trainer. That okay, Sudha should do this कि धीरज जो है वो जाके assign ही ना करे programs to the young trainers को, है ना? ये आपका objective है. Stop. She should propose training the young trainers in her innovative methods so that they become independent in the future. ठीक है. अब देखिए, the thing is, and it's very important for you to understand कि she should propose training the young trainers in innovative methods so that they become independent in the future. It's fine. But the thing is, will this action help Sudha to stop Dheeraj from assigning her programs to the young trainers? No, she can actually come up with with this approach ki I will train the young trainers in my innovative method so they can become independent in the future. But Dheeraj right now wants to address the concern of the CEO. So he's looking for an immediate solution. This might be a very long-term sort of a thing, that proposing the training and then doing it. But right now, what about the young people? They want to prove their mettle, so they want to get onboarded to a project. This cannot be something which is feasible, and this will not even excite Dheeraj ki हाँ लॉन्ग टर्म की चीज को छोड़ के मैं शॉर्ट टर्म की चीज पे फोकस ना करूं जो सीईओ ने बोला है. सो धीरज विल नेवर असाइन stop assigning these programs to the young trainers इस basis पे. She should confront the CEO and share that his concern should not be addressed at the cost of her revenues. Now, she should confront the CEO and share that his concern should not be addressed at the cost of her revenues. See, the thing is, you cannot be like like you are going to the CEO and talking about your revenue loss. This is pretty self-centered, and this is not even taking care of all the stakeholders, for example, young ones. And you are basically giving a very odd reasoning, right, which is very self-centered. So, yeah, it's not even a practical but very selfish reason to go. So, this is out. She should share with Dheeraj that assigning her client companies to novice trainers will lead to loss of those clients. See, the thing is, अगर आप धीरज के साथ में ये शेयर करते हैं कि आप जो क्लाइंट कंपनीज को असाइन कर रहे हैं विल लीड टू लॉस ऑफ दस क्लाइंट्स. तो यहाँ पे स्टेक होल्डर कंपनी भी है. कंपनी का लॉस इज एक्चुअली अ वेरी बिग लॉस, राइट? ठीक है. सो अगर आप धीरज से ये शेयर करते हैं कि आप क्लाइंट कंपनीज को अभी असाइनमेंट कीजिए नए ट्रेनर्स को क्योंकि लॉस हो जाएगा, दैट मीन्स यू आर गोइंग टू डू अ रेवेन्यू लॉस एंड नथिंग इज बिगर देन द रेवेन्यू लॉस राइट नाउ. सो सी इज अ great option that it will help Sudha to stop Dheeraj from assigning these programs to the young trainers. She should approach the CEO and request that Dheeraj be removed from his role as the TEO. No, you cannot actually guide CEO whom to remove, whom to not. Dheeraj is just doing his duty right now as he's being instructed by the CEO itself, himself. So she should contact the client companies and ask them to reject Dheeraj assigned trainers. You cannot like skip this and you cannot choose an unethical path, right? This is a very unethical path. So this is out. The answer has to be option C. Okay. हाँ, Dheeraj assigned a repeat client of Nandini Hegde, another very senior trainer, to Kirti Gowda, promising young trainer. So Nandini का client उसने कीर्ति को दे दिया. Few days later, the client company reached out to Nandini. Nandini को reach out कर दिया off the record and informed her that they were very unhappy with Kirti's training, right? Kirti की training से इतने खुश नहीं है वो लोग. They also shared that Dheeraj, when informed about this, had claimed that the client would appreciate Kirti with more exposure to her training programs, right? So जितने कीर्ति so client will start appreciating. Abhi it will take some time because she needs more exposure to her training programs, right? So as soon as the number of training programs will increase, like client will start appreciating. But that's a long process in itself, right? So even Dheeraj is not listening to the client. What best can Nandini do to regain the client for herself without appearing to be against the organization focus on providing the young trainers more opportunity? ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव जो है वो हमेशा वो टॉप पे रहना चाहिए. नंदिनी को भी रीगेन करना है क्लाइंट फॉर हरसेल्फ, बट विदाउट अपेयरिंग टू बी. ऐसा नहीं दिखना चाहिए कि शी इज अगेंस्ट दोज रूल्स ऑफ यंग ट्रेनर्स गेटिंग मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज. Engage in a follow-up conversation with the client, requesting that they communicate their concerns to the CEO of Humane Dynamics directly. That's a very bad choice because, again, first of all, you are skipping everything. You are going very unethically way, like outside information. You are setting up a meeting with the client. And then you are even not addressing their concerns. You are asking them to share your concerns with the CEO. So, and skipping Dheeraj, everything is happening right, and you are suggesting them something else. This is a very bad option. Share the client's feedback with Kirti and ask her to opt out of future training assignments with that client. Now, client का feedback कीर्ति के साथ share कर दो directly जाके. As a this is basically demotivating Kirti is not a great solution. Very unethical option again, right? Tell the client that to ensure quality, they must demand her exclusively as a trainer for their upcoming training programs. So first of all, like you are talking to the client without the vicinity of your existing company. This is very unethical approach again, right? You cannot skip the hierarchies. Arrange a meeting with Dheeraj, informing him that she is aware of the situation and Dheeraj actions may lose the client for Humane Dynamics. So first of all, if you inform Dheeraj that she is aware of the situation, that means like Dheeraj will come to know that you are actually trying to bypass him to have a conversation with the client. Again, a very unethical approach. ठीक है. Propose to Dheeraj that in future assignments with the client, Kirti be a co-trainer with Nandini to help improve her performance. Right now, if you go to Dheeraj and say, okay, इन द फ्यूचर असाइनमेंट्स विद द क्लाइंट, कीर्ति को को ट्रेनर रख लेते हैं, है ना, विद नंदिनी, राइट, टू हेल्प इम्प्रूव हर परफॉर्मेंस, राइट, बिकॉज so basically Dheeraj will agree to that. So first of all, the client will be there, Dheeraj and Nandini, Kirti both are together, all the stakeholders are satisfied, ठीक है. And more or less like Dheeraj को ये भी पता लग गया है that Kirti is not up to the mark, so eventually Dheeraj will be like, okay, it's fine if she is working with Kirti. That's a better solution rather than bypassing anyone. So E has to be the best answer here. Okay, so I think again, great question, right? Great. Let's go to the next one. So Kind Care Hospital, located in the small industrial town of Shinar, is one of the largest hospital within 50-kilometer radius. It is well regarded among the locals for emergency services. However, for critical surgeries, they prefer to travel to the nearest city, Shamili, which is 100 kilometers away. So अगर like emergency services के लिए आप कहाँ हैं, काइंड केयर में आइए. अगर आपको critical services के लिए जाना है तो usually people prefer to go to Shamili, which is 100 kilometers away. When Kind Care was established 50 years ago, the town was still in its early stages of development. Consequently, the hospital needed to incorporate several facilities within its premises, including a 24-hour cafeteria. So, a cafeteria है वहाँ पे, to accommodate needs of the patients and the relatives who would come from nearby places. Another facility that Kind Care built and takes pride in its state-of-the-art testing lab. एक बहुत अच्छा testing lab भी है उनके पास. It is the most sought-after testing lab in Shinar even today, when independent labs have come up around Kind Care. So independent labs आने के बाद भी उनका testing lab इतना अच्छा है that people really look forward to that. Moreover, many other facilities have also come up in the surrounding area of the hospital, such as pharmacies, food joints, hotels. So pharmacies भी आ चुकी हैं, food joints भी आ चुके हैं, hotels वगैरह भी आ चुके हैं, सब आसपास में आ चुके हैं. Furthermore, a standalone pharmacy chain has gained a strong foothold in Shinar as they expand their reach into tier 3 cities, right? So एक pharmacy chain है, उसने भी अच्छा खासा strong foothold बना लिया है शिनार में, right? सो काइंड केयर के बारे में बात बताई हुई है, काइंड केयर के आसपास क्या चल रहा है वो भी बताया हुआ है। व्हेन इट कम्स टू काइंड केयर, अ सिग्निफिकेंट प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ इट्स पेशेंट्स आर आउट पेशेंट्स विद अ सब्सटेंशियल नंबर सीकिंग इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज, राइट। सो एक तरीके से ओपीडी वाले पेशेंट्स है जो इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज लेना चाहते हैं, बिकॉज डेफिनेटली दे आर प्रेफरिंग काइंड केयर एज द सोल 600 बेड हॉस्पिटल इन द रीजन। काइंड केयर प्लेज अ क्रूशियल रोल इन मेडिकल सर्विसेज एंड रिसीव्स जनरस फंडिंग फ्रॉम टू मेजर कॉर्पोरेशंस ऑपरेटिंग लोकली। तो मेडिकल सर्विसेज में अच्छा खासा रोल है, फंडिंग भी आ रही है उनको, है ना। जो काइंड केयर को क्या करता है, टू गेट टू द ग्रोइंग मेडिकल नीड्स ऑफ द कम्युनिटी, की 600 बेड है, बिकॉज दे नीड टू केटर टू द ग्रोइंग मेडिकल नीड्स ऑफ द कम्युनिटी, सो दे आर आल्सो गेटिंग फंडिंग, राइट। ड्यूरिंग द कोविड-19 pandemic, काइंड केयर मेड significant investment in enhancing internet connectivity, enabling many doctors and the majority of the administrative staff to seamlessly work remotely. So they invested a lot. They made sure that there is this proper internet connectivity. Doctors as well as the administrative staff is working remotely as well. This investment also allowed Kind Care to bring in doctors from other cities through remote care. So not only the people who are actually from Kind Care, there are people who are from different cities as well. So this investment allowed them to also come together and connect with people remotely. Further, COVID-19 was a wake-up call for Kind Care to enhance their infrastructure. Though Kind Care made significant improvements, they kept the major renovations on hold due to the constant flow of the patients. So they were like constant people are coming, they were not able to make the major renovations. Kind Care believes that if the held renovations are not taken up on an urgent basis, now the operations at the hospital will get obstructed. So they want the current on hold reservation renovations should start again, right? And so that the operations of the hospital will again become smooth and they are able to cater to the more people, right? The operation should not get obstructed. So right now it's emergency for them to make sure the renovations are again come into existence. Fair enough. Kind Care feels that it needs to be better prepared before a similar situation like COVID-19, अगर मतलब COVID-19 जैसे सिचुएशन आए, राइट, तो उनको क्या करना है कि दे नीड टू बी बेटर प्रिपेयर्ड. The hospital decides to invest immediately in improving their infrastructure. Hospital को जल्दी से जल्दी अपना infrastructure improve करना पड़ेगा. However, this would mean that temporarily it should either reduce or shut down the operations of a few departments. Fair enough. It is considering the following options. पांच options है. Which of the following combinations will least affect the functioning of the hospital? Which will like least or like not affect ज़्यादा the functioning of hospital? Reduce their outpatient capacity to half. Their main business is coming from the OPD patients who are the emergency patients. So if you reduce the capacity to half, basically it will definitely affect the functioning of the hospital. So it will to affect the functioning. So this A is something which I would not go for. Shut down the cafeteria for the period of renovation. Even if I shut down the cafeteria for the period of renovation, it's completely fine. It will not affect me much, right? सो नॉट अफेक्ट दैट मच. उसका रीजन क्या है कि कैफेटेरिया बाहर भी है, राइट. So basically people have, there are some hotels and there are some food joints and all that stuff around the hospital. People can go there. So this is fine. Ask their administrative staff to work remotely. This is also okay because COVID-19 में उनके पास ऐसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आ गया था कि if you see, like, majority of the administrative staff actually worked remotely. So this can also be achieved. So it will not affect the functioning that much. Strip the pharmacy operations down to emergency and critical conditions. If you have the pharmacy for emergency and critical condition, then other customers or other patients can take the advantage of the pharmacy chains which are actually outside the hospital, or there is a pharmacy chain also which is working out. So that's completely fine. It will not affect that much because for critical you have it. Shut down the medical lab and arrange medical tests from a local lab. It will definitely affect because you have a state of the art testing lab and people are still, it is the most sought after testing lab, yours, right? And people are not even relying on the outside independent lab. So yours is a very great lab. So A and D will definitely affect it a lot. B, C, D won't affect it much. So the answer is least affecting. So the answer is B, C, D. Option B has to be your answer. Again, a very, very easy and doable question, right? Kind Care needs to maintain a large inventory of medicines and other auxiliary supplies in their storage unit. Fair enough. एक लार्ज इन्वेंट्री रखना पड़ेगा उनको, अदर ऑक्सिलरी सप्लाईज भी रखनी पड़ेंगी अपने स्टोरेज यूनिट में। द स्टोरेज यूनिट इंश्योर्स एडिक्वेट एंड टाइमली सप्लाई टू इंटेंसिव केयर यूनिट, की आईसीयू में, ठीक है, एडिक्वेट सप्लाई होनी चाहिए, टाइमली सप्लाई होना चाहिए मेडिसिन का। ओके, एंड ऑलवेज रन्स टू, ओके, सो ये जो स्टोरेज है ये मेक श्योर करता है, बट इट ऑलवेज रन्स टू कैपेसिटी। द रेनोवेशन टीम सजेस्ट दैट द स्टोरेज यूनिट बी शट डाउन फॉर 7 days फॉर अर्जेंट रेनोवेशन। अब बेसिकली इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज के लिए जो चाहिए वो सबको शट डाउन कर दे 7 दिन के लिए, राइट। However, the hospital building being old in the past, renovation work has stretched beyond estimated time. So renovation तो उससे भी beyond जाएगा। इसका मतलब ये कर नहीं सकते। Which of the following actions best ensures kind care operates efficiently during the renovation of the storage unit? की kind care जो है वो एक्चुअली में अच्छे से ऑपरेट करे ड्यूरिंग द रेनोवेशन ऑल्सो। रेंट लार्ज स्पेस अबाउट 1 hour अवे फ्रॉम द हॉस्पिटल फॉर 7 days, दिस इज आउट बिकॉज इमरजेंसी क्रिटिकल में उनको दवाइयां उसी टाइम चाहिए रहती है। 1 घंटे का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, लॉजिस्टिक्स, इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन को एड्रेस नहीं कर पा रहे, दिस इज आउट। शट डाउन द हॉस्पिटल अंदर until further notice, you cannot do that, right, except for the emergency ward which can run on outside supplies, no, this is out। Renovate the storage unit part by part while halving the capacity of the emergency services until the renovation completes. If you are doing, if you are, see, it always runs on the capacity. That means that is the demand. If the demand is not met, you are just halving the capacity. You are renovating it. There are a lot of problems which might occur, right? So that's a problematic thing. Like you cannot स्टोरेज यूनिट को आप छेड़छाड़ नहीं कर सकते। अगर आपको छेड़छाड़ करनी भी है तो इसकी कैपेसिटी फुल होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो हमेशा ही कैपेसिटी पे रन करता है, इतना आपके पास में इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ कस्टमर्स है। स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग अ न्यू स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी एज देयर कैपेसिटी इज ऑलरेडी स्ट्रेच्ड। ओके, नाउ you start building, right, a new storage facility as their capacity is already stretched. Now capacity is stretched, you start building a new storage facilities, है ना। बट क्वेश्चन क्या है, बेस्ट इंश्योर काइंड केयर ऑपरेट्स एफिशिएंटली ड्यूरिंग द रेनोवेशन ऑफ द स्टोरेज यूनिट, राइट। सो लाइक यू आर बिल्डिंग अ न्यू स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी, है ना, बिकॉज द कैपेसिटी इज ऑलरेडी स्ट्रेच्ड। नाउ डू यू थिंक इट इज लाइक ensuring कि काइंड केयर इज ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंटली ड्यूरिंग द रेनोवेशन ऑफ द स्टोरेज यूनिट? ठीक है, पहली बात तो यह है कि हमको वो एग्जिस्टिंग स्टोरेज यूनिट का रेनोवेशन करना है, मेरा ये फोकस है, राइट। तो नया स्टोरेज यूनिट डालना लॉट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, एंड दूसरी बात ये तो आस्क ही नहीं है, राइट। शट डाउन द कैफेटेरिया अंटिल फर्दर नोटिस एंड रीलोकेट द स्टोरेज यूनिट। अगर मैं स्टोरेज यूनिट को रेनोवेट कर रहा हूं, ठीक है, और आपने क्या किया कि सारा का सारा सामान कैफेटेरिया में डाल दिया, कैफेटेरिया को बंद कर दिया। कैफेटेरिया बंद करना इज एन ओके सॉल्यूशन, बिकॉज आपके पास बाहर भी बहुत फूड जॉइंट्स है, आप वहां पे जा सकते हैं, आपका कुछ भी चीज अफेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, और आपको ये 7 days का और ये सब का प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं फेस करना पड़ेगा, राइट, ठीक है। सो दैट्स द थिंग, राइट। सो ई इज स्टिल अ बेटर ऑप्शन देन डी। डी इज आउट, ई हैज टू बी योर आंसर, करेक्ट। Okay. Kind Care Hospital has to renovate its storage unit given the complexity of the medicine and the need to store other critical supplies. The renovation is supposed to take 7 days, right? Um, See, Kind Care has to renovate its storage unit given the complexity of the medicine and the need to store other critical supplies. Renovation 7 days legi, but work start hota hai. The team entrusted with the work realizes that the work will take more than 15 days. Kind Care feels that even this revised estimate is modest. Already the मतलब ऐसा नहीं होगा, इससे भी beyond जाएगा। Already the OPD services are affected and people visiting the hospital are being turned away. Stretching it further will attract a strong public resentment. Fair enough. Which of the following actions offers the most sustainable solution for Kind Care to reduce the number of patients being turned away? जितने पेशेंट्स जा रहे हैं वापस वो ना जाए, है ना, ऐसा क्या किया जाए? Arrange with a larger hospital in Shamili to take over their critical patients. See, you are asking larger hospital in Shamili to take over your critical patients. ठीक है, that's completely fine. But then like thing is कि problem ये है कि first of all आपको make sure करना है कि you are reducing the number of patients being turned away. If you are actually redirecting it to them, so पहले तो आप अपना brand image lose करते हैं, दूसरा आपने एक तरीके से patients lose कर रहे हैं, तीसरी बात यह है कि आपका जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आप उसको किसी और को ट्रांसफर कर दे रहे हैं। और ये जो क्वेश्चन है कि काइंड केयर को अपने नंबर ऑफ पेशेंट जो टर्न अवे हो रहे हैं उनको रिड्यूस करना है, ठीक है, तो वो रिड्यूस ही हो रहे हैं एक तरीके से, स्टॉप तो कर ही नहीं पा रहे आप उनको, है ना। तो सस्टेनेबल सॉल्यूशन कैसे हुआ? ओके, स्टॉप द रेनोवेशन वर्क इमीडिएटली एंड रिज्यूम नॉर्मल ऑपरेशंस। आप रेनोवेशन वर्क को इमीडिएटली स्टॉप नहीं कर सकते, है ना। और ये एक सॉल्यूशन भी नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि वो आपको करना ही है इम्प्लीमेंट। दैट इज द आस्क ऑफ द क्वेश्चन। रिज्यूम सम ऑपरेशंस फ्रॉम रेंटेड स्पेसेस स्कैटर्ड अराउंड द रीजन। अगर आप रेंटेड स्पेसेस ले देते हो, फिर वही प्रॉब्लम है, क्रिटिकल और इमरजेंसी के टाइम पे लॉजिस्टिक्स और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इतना बड़ा इशू हो जाएगा और मैनेज करना इतना बड़ा इशू हो जाएगा कि आप क्रिटिकलिटी के टाइम पे किसी को सप्लाई ही नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, तो दिस इज आउट। Start reduced operations gradually and hire a team of experts to find ways to expedite the revision. If you start the reduced operation gradually, धीरे धीरे, and you hire a team of experts to find ways to expedite the renovation, that means इट्स स्टिल आप पहले तो हायर करेंगे टीम ऑफ एक्सपर्ट्स, उसमें टाइम लगेगा, उसके बाद एक्सपेडिट करेंगे रेनोवेशन को, 2-3 दिन 4 दिन का फर्क आ जाएगा, 5 हफ्ते का फर्क आ जाएगा। बट आपके रिड्यूस ऑपरेशन तो चलेंगे, उस टाइम पे आप उनको स्टॉप कैसे कर पाओगे जो टर्न अवे हो रहे हैं? उनको आप ये नहीं बोल सकते ना हम एक्सपर्ट्स की टीम ला रहे हैं जो जल्दी कर देगी। बट अभी जब तक नहीं आ रही एक्सपर्ट की टीम, तब तक तो लूज हो ही रहा है। दिस इज आउट। Bring in a reputed renovation team at triple the cost, which guarantees to finish this work in 3 days. अगर आप थोड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट कर भी रहे हो, लेकिन आप अपना काम 3 दिन में खत्म कर देते हो, और आपको ये बात पता है पैसेज के अकॉर्डिंग कि ये 15 दिन से ज्यादा भी जा सकता है, तो आपने इतने दिन बचा लिया, आप अपने कस्टमर्स को बचा लिया आपने थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्टमेंट करके। ई इज एक्चुअली वेरी सस्टेनेबल सोल्यूशन, सो आंसर हैज टू बी ई ऑप्शन, राइट? ठीक है, फेयर इनफ। नाउ लेट्स गो टू दिस वन, सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड विद दिस। Arya had always been a mediocre student. Luckily, after finishing her undergrad degree from a tier 2 engineering college, she secured a decent but modestly paying job at a reputable IT company. See, the thing is, you need to understand, okay, like, she studied decently, she got a, good paying job. And however, after a year on the job, Arya found her role mundane, right? ऐसा लगता है यूजुअली लोगों को 1 साल बाद में, हाँ कि ठीक है यार, इतना एक्साइटिंग वर्क नहीं है। Where her best friend at the company, Shruti, left to pursue an MBA from a top tier B school. Citing significant career growth and potential salary increase upon graduation, Arya felt intrigued and inspired to follow the same path. कि श्रुति ने कंपनी छोड़ी है MBA परस्यू करने के लिए टॉप टियर बी स्कूल में, और उसको क्या मिलेगा? करियर ग्रोथ और पोटेंशियल सैलरी इंक्रीज। इसीलिए उसको भी लगता है कि मुझे भी फॉलो करना चाहिए सेम पाथ। क्यों? क्योंकि करियर ग्रोथ है, सैलरी इंक्रीज है, राइट? Arya felt intrigued and inspired to follow the same path. Shruti appreciated Arya's aspiration. कि श्रुति बोलती है आर्या बहुत अच्छी बात है, telling her that doing MBA from a top tier B school could not only land Arya a lucrative job, but also it could fast track her career progression. उसका career progression भी fast track हो जाएगा. So career growth, fast tracking of career progression, potential salary increase, everything is important. However, Arya was concerned whether she would be able to balance between her MBA entrance exam prep and her current job. कि क्या मेरी MBA एंट्रेंस एग्जाम प्रेप और मेरी जो करंट जॉब है, क्या मैं उन दोनों में एक तरीके से बैलेंस बना सकता हूँ, बैलेंस बना सकती हूँ या नहीं बना सकती? दैट्स व्हाट आर्या वाज थिंकिंग, कि मतलब MBA एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन और मेरी करंट जॉब में। आर्या कंसीडर्ड रिजाइनिंग टू फोकस, रिजाइन ही कर देते हैं, ठीक है। बट श्रुति कॉशन दैट हर टॉप टियर बी स्कूल माइट व्यू अ करियर ब्रेक अनफेवरेबली एज दे प्रेफर कंटिन्यूअस प्रोफेशनल एंगेजमेंट। उनको तो बेसिकली वर्क एक्सपीरियंस के मार्क्स होते हैं, तो प्लीज डोंट लीव योर जॉब, ओके। The CEO of Arya's IT firm tied up with a premier B school to reserve 30 seats in an online management certificate program aimed at grooming working professionals. So CEO ने टाई अप किया है बिजनेस स्कूल के साथ में कि ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम कराएंगे जो वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल को ग्रूम करेगा। The CEO, however, declared that employees participating in this program will have to sign a 3-year bond with the firm. 3 साल का bond. Further, the CEO added that though good performance was a criteria for selection, he would hold authority to take a final call. He will also choose कि कौन से लोग जाएंगे ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए। Arya well aware of her academic limitations. Now Arya start thinking, अच्छा मेरा academic इतना अच्छा नहीं है. She was unsure about the time available to prepare for the MBA entrance exam, and now because she has another choice, so she started thinking कि मुझे MBA के लिए जाना चाहिए, नहीं मेरा academic इतना अच्छा नहीं है, time इतना ज़्यादा available नहीं है। She contemplated going for the management certificate program instead of preparing for the MBA entrance exam. So वो like she started thinking about कि अरे I should, the better idea is कि मैं management certificate program करती हूँ instead of the MBA entrance exam. Which of the following considerations will best help Arya decide whether to apply for the online management certificate program? See, the thing is, it's very, very important for you to understand. Question बोल रहा है which of the following considerations will best help Arya decide whether to apply for the online management certificate program or not? कि मतलब ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम के लिए अप्लाई करना है, आर्या को इनमें से कौन सी चीज उसको हेल्प करेगी कि हाँ भाई ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम ही है जिसपे तुम्हें जाना चाहिए। देखो, आर्या एमबीए करना ही क्यों चाहती थी, क्योंकि आर्या को दिखा करियर ग्रोथ है, आर्या को दिखा पोटेंशियल सैलरी इंक्रीज है। तो अगर वो सारी चीजें ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम भी फुलफिल कर देता है, तो मैं डेफिनेटली ऑनलाइन मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम की तरफ जाऊंगा ना, अगर मुझे पता है कि मैं एकेडमिकली इतना अच्छा नहीं हूँ, राइट, और मेरे पास टाइम भी नहीं है प्रिपेयर करने का, राइट। आर्या कीप्स गेटिंग अप्रिशिएटेड फॉर हर परफॉर्मेंस बाय द एचआर डिपार्टमेंट। अब एचआर डिपार्टमेंट अगर आर्या को अप्रिशिएट कर रहा है उसकी परफॉर्मेंस के लिए, that is nothing to do with Arya taking a call for MBA versus management certificate program, right? Arya wants to be a part of a very good alumni network. That's a good thing, but वो उसका प्रायोरिटी नहीं है। उसका प्रायोरिटी एमबीए और सर्टिफिकेशन में जाने का ये है कि मेरे को करियर ग्रोथ का मिलेगा, मेरे को सैलरी इंक्रीज का मिलेगा। So A cannot be the answer, B cannot be the answer. Shruti attempted the MBA entrance exams twice before she could get selected. Now Shruti का ट्रैक क्या रहा है और आर्या का ट्रैक क्या रहा है, इन दोनों को मैं कैसे मैप कर सकता हूँ? आई कैनॉट मैप, क्योंकि श्रुति के अपने सर्कमस्टेंसेस होंगे जिसमें उसने एमबीए क्रैक किया होगा, राइट। और श्रुति ने अगर 2 बार एंट्रेंस एग्जाम को क्रैक किया है, 2 बार उसको लग गया, हो सकता है आर्या पहली बार में करते, है ना, कैन बी एनीथिंग। सो यू डोंट नो। Arya feels that the online program is light enough to manage while working full time. Well, the online program is light enough. That's why I should go for the online program. Uh, well, the thing is कि वो तो इतनी बहादुर थी that she was okay taking a break from the work life and she was okay, preparing for MBA. तो उसको बैलेंस बना के चलना है, इसीलिए उसको मैनेजमेंट सर्टिफिकेट में जाना है। दिस वाज नेवर a reason, right? Those who complete this online management certificate program do well in their career. If she gets to know कि ऐसा होता है, then definitely मैं एमबीए क्यों जाऊं, मैं मेरे को तो पता है यहाँ से भी करियर में ग्रोथ अच्छा मिल सकता है, तो मैं यही करूंगा ना, राइट। दैट्स व्हाई ई हैज टू बी द बेस्ट ऑप्शन। After working hard on MBA entrance exam preparations for 1 year, Arya received an admission offer from the 2 year agribusiness program of a premier B school. उसको 2 year agribusiness program फॉर अ प्रीमियर बी स्कूल भी आता है। 1 साल उसने अच्छा खासा मेहनत किया, 1 साल का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस हो गया, उसको एडमिशन आया। वाइल शी एस्पायर्ड टू बी दैट अ पार्ट ऑफ द प्रीमियर बी स्कूल, शी हैड नो इंटरेस्ट इन एग्री बिजनेस। तो जो उसको फील्ड था वो उसका इंटरेस्टेड नहीं थी वो उस फील्ड में। हाँ, बी स्कूल का पार्ट होना चाहती थी लेकिन फील्ड का नहीं। While deliberating, she received an offer from a brand new but buzzworthy global 1 year executive MBA program in general management in a mid-tier B school. उसको एक मिड टियर बी स्कूल से एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए जनरल मैनेजमेंट का कॉल आता है। द प्रोग्राम बोस्टेड एक्सीलेंट प्लेसमेंट फॉर इट्स फर्स्ट बैच ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स। काफी अच्छा प्लेसमेंट हुआ है पहले इस बैच का। While the program was typically geared towards students with a considerable industry experience, being new, it also allowed some exceptions for well-deserving students with little or no experience. So basically, दोनों तरीके के लोग जा सकते हैं, exceptions भी allowed है। Arya was worried whether being a candidate with a minimal experience, she would be good fit in the executive MBA program. Which of the following consideration would best help Arya in taking admission in the 1 year executive MBA program? Arya क्यों ले executive 1 year MBA program में, जब जब उसको पता है कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उसके पास ज्यादा वर्क एक्स है नहीं, सेकंड उसको एक और कॉल आई हुई है एग्री बिजनेस से। उस बी स्कूल में वो जाना चाहती है लेकिन वो एग्री बिजनेस में नहीं जाना चाहती, राइट। सो दी ओनली रीजन है ना, वो उस कॉलेज में नहीं जाके इस कॉलेज में जाए क्योंकि वो उस फील्ड में नहीं जाना चाहती। अगर यहाँ पे उसको कुछ ऐसा ऑप्शन मिलेगी, आई माइट बी एबल टू चूज माई इंटरेस्टेड फील्ड, सो आई विल डेफिनेटली गो फॉर दिस। आर्या डज नॉट हैव द कॉन्फिडेंस टू स्पेंड अनदर ईयर इन एमबीए एंट्रेंस एग्जाम। अगर उसको कॉन्फिडेंस ही नहीं है तो बेसिकली वो ए या बी में से किसी में भी जा सकती है। Why I will prefer the second college over the first? That is not something which A is helping me to understand. So this is out. The agribusiness program is not the flagship program of the Premier B School. अगर agribusiness program जो है वो flagship program नहीं है बी स्कूल का, इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है, एग्री बिजनेस में उसका इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, राइट। दैट इज द मेन थिंग। The unique structure of the executive MBA program has gained a lot of attention from the new startup. That's a good thing, but मैं उस कॉलेज को क्यों छोड़ू? क्या पता वहां पे भी बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हो, मुझे उसके बारे में तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है, राइट। एंड व्हाई आई शुड गो फॉर दिस? दिस इज नॉट प्रीटी मच एक्साइटिंग इनफ फॉर मी। आर्या हैज अ बेटर चांस ऑफ फर्दरिंग हर करियर इन द फील्ड ऑफ हर इंटरेस्ट टू द एग्जीक्यूटिव। अगर मुझे एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए में मेरा इंटरेस्टेड फील्ड में जाने का मौका मिल रहा है जो मुझे ए में नहीं मिल रहा है, बिकॉज एग्री बिजनेस है और मेरा इंटरेस्टेड फील्ड नहीं है, तो डेफिनेटली मैं इस दूसरे स्कूल की तरफ भागूंगा। डी इज अ ग्रेट ऑप्शन। The executive MBA program offered generous scholarships to women with IT experience. Just because I'm getting a scholarship there, right? That is not the primary reason for me to move to that program, right? Okay. So you are not being told about the other B school right now. The primary reason is my interest is not there. If this gives me that interested field, I will go here. So E is out. D has to be the correct answer. Great. After working hard on MBA entrance exam preparations for 1 year, right? 1 year from 2 year, देखा जाए, Arya received two admission offer, one from the 2 year this same and another one from a brand new but buzzworthy this program, right? ठीक है. As she did not have much interest in agribusiness, same thing. She opted to okay, so she opted to enroll in the 1 year executive MBA program and promptly submitted her first installment. उसने first installment भी दे दी. She was very happy that she would soon embark her MBA journey. To her shock, a few days later, she received a call from the authorities of the mid-tier B school. They informed her that due to a technical glitch in their system, more admissions offer were made than the available seats. जितनी seats है उससे ज्यादा उन्होंने admission offer दे दिए. Consequently, candidates lower on the merit list, including Arya, were being offered a choice from the following option. So, because you are lower in the merit list, we are giving you an option. Either you defer your admission to the next year or you get a full refund of the fees. Okay. Or if you are interested, you could right now join a similar program, which is actually in a new launched campus where many seats are available. So you can choose any of the three. आर्य कंसीडर द होल एपिसोड अ ब्रीच ऑफ ट्रस्ट डेफिनेटली बिकॉज आपने इतनी कॉल्स ही क्यों दी जब आपने एडमिट लेना ही नहीं था है ना हमने पैसे भी ले लिए एंड वंडर्ड इफ इट वुड बी ऑल वर्थवाइल टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद बिजनेस स्कूल नाउ और इन द फ्यूचर कि मुझे अभी भी या बाद में भी इस बिजनेस स्कूल से एसोसिएटेड रहना या नहीं रहना विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कंसिडरेशंस विल बेस्ट रिस्टोर हर फेथ इन द बी स्कूल की मतलब ये कंसिडरेशन कर लो आप अपनी बेसिकली अपना फेथ इंटैक्ट रहेगा आपका इसी बी स्कूल में कौन सी कंसिडरेशन है जो उसका फेथ को रिस्टोर करेगा उसी बी स्कूल में देखो A similar incident happened 3 years back in another B school, and all deferred candidates eventually got good placements. So the thing is that एक सिमिलर इंसिडेंट 3 साल पहले किसी और बी स्कूल में हुआ था और सभी डेफर्ड कैंडिडेट्स को अच्छी प्लेसमेंट मिल गई थी क्या रीजन रहे होंगे क्यों डेफर्ड को अच्छी प्लेसमेंट मिली क्या सिनेरियो था मार्केट का बहुत सारे एक्सटर्नल रिसोर्सेज है ये दोनों मैप नहीं होते और इससे मेरा फेथ कैसे रिस्टोर होता है ये तो पोस्ट एडमिशन है ना ये तो प्री एडमिशन प्रॉब्लम्स हुई है उसका रिस्टोर फेथ कैसे होगा A deferment by a year will give her a chance to build on her work experience. So, how will that restore my faith in the B school? मैं तो वैसे भी डेफरमेंट की जगह मैं 1 साल तैयारी करके किसी और भी स्कूल में चले जाऊंगा मेरा फेथ कैसे रिस्टोर होगा बिकॉज ये मेरे को डेफरमेंट दे रहे हैं इसलिए नो द बी स्कूल ओन द मिस्टेक एंड ट्राइड देयर बेस्ट टू हेल्प द अफेक्टेड कैंडिडेट्स वेल अगर बी स्कूल बहुत ट्रांसपेरेंट रहा है इस चीज में और अपनी अपनी मिस्टेक को ओन किया है और अभी जो अफेक्ट हुए हैं कैंडिडेट्स उनको हेल्प करना चाह रहे हैं तो बेसिकली इट्स अ वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट थिंग राइट very ethical thing they are doing right so I can still be like हाँ ठीक है they are actually doing good they are improving their mistakes so this will eventually help me restore my faith C is an okay option the B school runs many management training programs on ethical leadership for corporate just because it runs many things on ethical leadership and it itself is not ethical doesn't give me any better thing to do many mid-tier B schools give offers to more candidates than available seats to tackle rejection बहुत सारे मिड टियर बी स्कूल ऐसे करते हैं तो करते होंगे ये मेरे को प्रॉब्लम इस बी स्कूल से ऐसा इन्होंने क्यों किया मेरा रिस्टोर फेथ नहीं करवा पाएंगे ये मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता कि किसी और ने भी जुर्म किया है तो आप भी कीजिए नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता सो आंसर हैज टू बी ऑप्शन सी ग्रेट हाँ okay all right Mr. Zubin Mistry is the owner and the chief editor of the newspaper The Pluralist renowned for its high reporting standards and outstanding writing quality The Pluralist authentic reporting distinguishes it from other newspapers that sensationalize news है ना so news को sensationalize करते हैं अगर ये तो अब आप देखिए एक तरीके से Mr. Zubin Mistry is the owner and the chief editor of the newspaper The Pluralist renowned for its high reporting standards and outstanding writing quality right The Pluralist authentic reporting distinguishes it from other newspapers that sensationalize news. So very, very ethical, very, writing quality standard is there. Authentic reporting is there. They're responsible employers, known to be highly supportive towards their employees, right? Its news editing team. Now, they are responsible employers, known to be highly supportive towards their employees. Its news editing team is led by Miss Ramya, a respected veteran in the newspaper reporting industry, well known for her stringent adherence to the ethical standards of newspaper reporting. So Ramya is well known for her stringent adherence to ethical standards, right? Mr. Aditya, an award-winning senior journalist, has brought in an exposure into the activities of a mining company operating in an ecologically vulnerable area. So that's an unethical thing. In his hard-hitting reporting style, he has presented interviews with tens of people, delineating how the mining company has used illegal means to start mining in that area. These mining activities may lead to the destruction of the local ecological balance. However, Aditya Swarup is unable to obtain an interview with the management of the mining company. ठीक है, आदित्य स्वरूप मैनेजमेंट से इंटरव्यू नहीं कर पाया. आदित्य स्वरूप्स इन्वेस्टिगेटिव रिपोर्ट आर्टिकल ऑफर सिग्निफिकेंट रिवीलेशंस अबाउट द एलिज्ड illegal activities of the mining company which were hardly covered in the media otherwise. Nevertheless, his sources have requested for complete anonymity. So चाहते हैं complete anonymous रहे, हम आपको बताएंगे, ठीक है. Illegal काफी सारी चीजें पता लगी है. Ramya is trying to decide whether to publish the article. While publishing the article may enhance the reputation of the pluralist, there are possibilities of political and economic backlash for reporting on the powerful mining company. She has consulted the legal team of the newspaper, who have warned that the report, relying mostly on anonymous sources, is likely to be legally vulnerable. Right? अगर आप anonymous sources हैं, पता भी नहीं है किसने बोला है, तो basically ऐसा लगेगा कि किसी ने ऐसे ही छाप दिया रिपोर्ट. On the other hand, Aditya Swarup is a senior journalist, well known and well respected for the quality of his investigative reporting. मतलब उसका quality बहुत अच्छा है, top notch quality है अगर वो investigative reporting करता है. The topic of the report is time sensitive. Topic is very time sensitive. If the report is not published within the next 2-3 days, the mining company would get an important government project in the same area, right? So mining company को एक बहुत important project मिल जाएगा same area में. Which of the following reasons will best enable Ramya to publish the article? कि रम्या को enable करेगा कि हाँ रम्या आर्टिकल पब्लिश कर दे. रम्या के पास बहुत सारे challenges हैं, anonymous sources हैं, लीगल टीम ने मना कर दिया है ना, भरोसा सिर्फ आदित्य स्वरूप की इन्वेस्टिगेटिव रिपोर्टिंग पे है, टाइम सेंसिटिव है, तो करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. रम्या शुड पब्लिश द आर्टिकल. रम्या को आर्टिकल पब्लिश करना है, कौन सा रीजन बहुत सॉलिड होगा, एनेबल करेगा. रम्या शुड पब्लिश द आर्टिकल बिकॉज एनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन बाय आदित्य स्वरूप हैज एनहांस्ड द रेपुटेशन ऑफ द प्लूरलिस्ट टिल डेट. रमा को इसलिए आर्टिकल पब्लिश करना चाहिए क्योंकि आदित्य स्वरूप की इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, उसने हमेशा प्लूरलिस्ट की रेपुटेशन को बढ़ाया ही है. सो बैक्ड बाय अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा ऑफ आदित्य स्वरूप, है ना, चाहे anonymous है, चाहे legally vulnerable है, but this eventually gives her a strong reason that she can actually go against all the odds and publish that article because the trust is on Aditya Swarup and how his entire background and the past experiences of his work has enhanced the reputation of the pluralist. So this is a great option, right? Let's hold it for now. Ramya should publish the article because a similar article was published on another mining company last week in another news daily, but that could have some less anonymity, that could have their own reasons. क्या environment है, कितने आपके वहां पे basically how many people you took interviews with, what sort of people you took interviews with, right? Were they anonymous or not? Situation अलग हो सकती है. I cannot rely on that situation. Ramya should publish the article because the same news can get published by a competitor known for breaking such news. Well, you need to understand, just because some competitor will come and take this news, well, that's not the reason for which will enable Ramya to publish, because Ramya has to be sure of the fact that उन पे कोई legal case ना है, legal vulnerable नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई report ना है, basically political और economic backlash ना है. वो कौन satisfy कर रहा है? वो ये चीज तो satisfy नहीं करेगी, right? Ramya should publish the article because the legal team is mostly overcautious about any possibility of backlash. You see, legal team का काम ही है कि cautious होना, and this is their duty. So they are actually telling what is missing, what are the gaps missing. Just you cannot overlook what your legal team is saying, right? So this is out. Ramya should publish the article given the time sensitive nature of the report. So just making sure कि 2-3 दिन में करना है इसलिए कर दे, and without thinking about the repercussions, this is out. So A is a good option. We should go with A option, right? Okay. Now let's go to the next one. So next particular question says, after the article is published next morning in the Pluralist, it goes viral. However, the mining company pushes back with a public declaration. Mining company is like, it pushes back with a public declaration contesting some of the findings of the article, right? We don't agree to this. While the potential inaccuracies do not entirely invalidate the article is not invalid, right? प्रॉब्लम तो है, बट पूरा इनवैलिडेट नहीं कर सकते. दे सब्सटेंशियली अंडरमाइन इट्स मैसेज इफ प्रूवन ट्रू. लेकिन अगर इनएक्यूरेसीज ट्रू हो गई तो पूरा मैसेज जो है वो खराब हो जाएगा. When Ramya asked Aditya Swarup to bring in further proof to publish a rebuttal, he informs her that his sources for a vital part of the article were two employees recently fired by the mining company. Well, these were the employees which were fired by the mining company. It can happen that they are taking their grudges on the company. It can happen anything. They are anonymous, right? But they are not a part of the company anymore. And they now admit that they were not completely honest in their initial interaction with him. So basically, पूरा केस ही अलग हो गया एक तरीके से. Though some points raised in the article might still be valid, हो सकता है कुछ points, but इसकी भी probability है. It is difficult to separate the inaccuracies given the unreliability of the sources. So how much it is inaccurate? Most of it is inaccurate. Some of it is accurate. Unreliable sources है. कैसे हम लोग पता लगाएंगे, है ना? कैसे separate करें सब चीजों को? Ramya immediately brings it to the attention of Zubin while admitting that she hastily permitted the publication of the article, है ना? So रम्या जुबिन को बोलती है कि उसकी गलती है कि उसने फटाफट भी पब्लिश कर दिया आर्टिकल. व्हाट इज द मोस्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबल एक्शन शुड जुबिन टेक कीपिंग इन व्यू द रीसेंट डेवलपमेंट्स ड्यू टू द इनएक्यूरेसीज ऑफ द आर्टिकल्स? फिर काफी सारी चीजें हो गई है ना, इनएक्यूरेसी पता लगी है. Publish an article accusing the mining company of bullying witnesses to change their versions. See, the thing is, like, this is an accusation on the mining company, even without, and this is something which even you are not sure about, and you are just, this is so unethical. You cannot, like, even do this, right? Just to prove yourself, right? Publish a modified version of the article next day defending the investigative journalism of Aditya Swarup. Aditya Swarup has done a mistake. He has done a blunder. First of all, the employees are not part of the company anymore. Second thing is they are, they are not even, they want them to be anonymous, right? And then they are now admitting that they were not even completely honest. So how can you defend the investigative journalism of Aditya Swarup, right? And you can modify, and what modified version of the article you'll be publishing, because there's nothing which which you have to actually publish a modified version even. So this is out. Retract the entire circle and publish that Aditya Swarup will no longer be with the newspaper. See, the thing is, Aditya Swarup has been an integral part of the organization, right? Mistakes are bound to happen, right? And you cannot say that he is no longer with the newspaper, because right now it was also mentioned that you are highly supportive towards your employees, so you cannot actually, मतलब आप अपने passage को गलत proof नहीं कर सकते. Retract the entire article and publish Ramya's apology in the newspaper. अगर आप रिट्रैक्ट कर लेते हो entire article को, because you have understood that there are a lot of loopholes in the article, so it's better for you to retract the entire article. And because Ramya has accepted her mistake, so that it is fine to publish Ramya's apology in the newspaper because she owned her mistake, right? So Zubin, as a CEO or as an owner, he is okay to do this. So D is an okayish option. Publish a follow-up article disclosing the identity of the sources. Well, they have asked him to be anonymous. You cannot go against that. Attributing the responsibility of the errors to them, this is out, right? जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा, right? So D has to be the correct answer in this case, right? Okay. After the article is published in the Pluralist, the mining company pushes back with a public declaration contesting some of the findings of the article. This has hit Aditya Swarup's reputation because he trusted unreliable sources. Nevertheless, he is confident about the illegal activities of the mining company. उसको लगता है अभी भी कि illegal activities तो हैं. He wants to redeem himself, है ना? He approaches Zubin with a request to go back to the mining company project to find new sources and rewrite an article with a reliable piece of evidence. Though his fresh investigation will require time and money, it might also enhance the reputation of the newspaper, है ना? फ्रेश इन्वेस्टिगेशन में टाइम चाहिए, मनी चाहिए, रेपुटेशन भी इनहेंस हो सकती है ना? क्योंकि उसको नए सोर्सेज, है ना, और रीराइट आर्टिकल, मतलब एक तरीके से आर्टिकल को रीराइट करना पड़ेगा रिलायबल पीसेस ऑफ एविडेंस के साथ में. जुबिन रिस्पेक्ट्स आदित्य स्वरूप and wants his reputation to be restored. However, Zubin is confident that continuing to work on the mining company project will not yield any result. जब आपको पता है कि कुछ रिजल्ट आएगा ही नहीं, तो उस पर करवाना क्यों है काम? और आप अपनी रेपुटेशन तो किसी भी तरीके से बचा सकते हो. Which of the following actions by Zubin will best enable Aditya Swarup to enhance his diminishing reputation? Assign Aditya Swarup to work as an anonymous journalist. पहली बात तो anonymous journalist जैसे आप काम कराओगे तो बेसिकली वैसे ही कॉन्फिडेंस लो हो गया, तो आप अपना जो एक तरीके से आदित्य स्वरूप जो है, how he will redeem himself, that is not true, right? Tell Aditya Swarup that he plans to delegate the mining company project to a fresh team who will work in consultation with Aditya Swarup. Well, why you will take such a decision when you know there will be no outcomes, right? this is just waste of time and resources, right? So this is not an ideal option. Assign a new investigative project to Aditya Swarup, advising him to focus on the new project without worrying about the past project. If he is assigned new investigative project and he proves himself there, definitely he'll be regaining his reputation, right? And also Zubin will also be confident that he is not wasting time on that mining project because he know it will not yield any result. So it's a better option. Ask Aditya Swarup to start his own YouTube channel since more people are aware of him now than before. No, this is not the ideal way to regain his thing because he does not have any proofs for now, right? Ask Aditya Swarup to focus on mentoring new and young journalists. और डी ऑप्शन इसलिए भी गलत है क्योंकि कंपनी का काम है ना. सो बेसिकली यू कैन नॉट लाइक द कंपनीज मिस्टेक ऑफ पब्लिसाइज चैनल पे कैसे ऑन कर सकते हो. Ask Aditya Swarup. So company has to issue a statement to focus on mentoring new and young journalists instead of working on any investigative report. So basically ये भी lack of confidence से lose कर देगा, redeem नहीं कर पाएगा आदित्य स्वरूप जो actually question का है. तो जुबिन आदित्य स्वरूप को रिस्पेक्ट करता है, बट जुबिन wants his reputation to be restored, right? So E will not help him. So C has to be the best answer in this case. Great. Okay. Truecaller, an event management company in Eastern India, had been in business of inviting Tollywood singers to a city called Tivana and made money out of selling tickets of their concerts, right? The stars were paid a fixed fee regardless of the number of tickets sold. The company had a specialized team that negotiated the singers' fee with their managers. However, for selling the tickets of such events, they were reliant on an external media agency called ZDS, right? ट्रू कलर है एक इवेंट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी है, टॉलीवुड सिंगर्स को बुलाती है और मनी बनाती है बाय सेलिंग आउट टिकट्स ऑफ देयर कॉन्सर्ट्स, है ना. स्टार्स को एक फिक्स फी दी जाती है. कंपनी नेगोशिएट करती है. कंपनी के पास एक स्पेशलाइज्ड टीम है जो नेगोशिएट करते हैं सिंगर्स फी, तो सिंगर्स को उतना फिक्स अमाउंट दिया जाता है. हाउएवर फॉर सेलिंग द टिकट्स ऑफ सच इवेंट दे वर रिलायंट ऑन एन एक्सटर्नल मीडिया एजेंसी कॉल्ड जीडीएस. जीडीएस पे रिलाय करते हैं टिकट सेल करने के लिए. ZDS had a long-standing relationship with Truecaller and had been instrumental in achieving a target of 50,000 tickets for each of the flagship events. Okay, so 50,000 tickets तो ZDS ले ही आता है हर flagship event के लिए. तो उसमें से जो भी कमाई हो रही है उसमें से कुछ सिंगर को जाती है, कुछ कंपनी अपने पास रखती है, बिकॉज इट्स एन इवेंट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी, है ना. एंड ZDS जो है वो मीडिया एजेंसी कंपनी है. मिस्टर सुकांता राव joined Truecaller as an in-house sales and marketing manager, a position exclusively created for him. The CEO, Mr. Adil Banerjee, had assigned a task of increasing the sale of ticket to 1 lakh, ki 1 lakh crore ticket. In Sukanta's earlier stint, he had seen that similar cities sell more than 75,000 tickets for such event, पर अभी तो 50,000 ही sell हो रही है. He felt that over time reaching 1 lakh was plausible for Truecaller. मतलब it was reasonable. You can actually reach 1 lakh. That's not a problem. Sukanta felt that aspirational target can be achieved only if ZDS is replaced. ZDS को रिप्लेस करके ही टारगेट होगा क्योंकि ZDS is pretty constant about the numbers of 50,000 and they'll not grow. However, he is not sure if he should make any major changes in his first year. अपने पहले साल में he is not confident कि उसको कोई मेजर चेंजेस करने चाहिए या नहीं करने चाहिए. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग रीजन विल बेस्ट हेल्प सुकंता नॉट टू स्टार्ट मेकिंग मेजर चेंजेस इमीडिएटली. कि अभी आप मेजर चेंजेस मत करो भाई, अभी क्यों कर रहे हो. The owners of ZDS are respected citizens of Tivana. Just because they are respected citizens of Tivana, तो ये सुकांता को मेजर चेंजेस ना करने के लिए मजबूर नहीं करेगा. दिस इज आउट. Truecaller recruited Sukanta specifically to increase ticket sales by whatever means necessary. ये तो एक्चुअली उसको मोटिवेट करेगा कि चेंजेस करो, बट हमको चेंजेस नहीं करवाने हैं. ZDS has managed Truecaller's marketing for the last 5 years. Just because it has managed Truecaller's marketing इसलिए चेंज ना करे, this is a bad option. Sukanta needs more time to learn about the dynamics of the Eastern market. अगर उसको Eastern market के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, जहाँ पे Truecaller है और उसको डायनामिक्स ही नहीं पता है, then he cannot go and directly do a change which is unnecessary, right? For now, he should first of all do the market research properly. So D is a good option. For around a decade, ticket sales have consistently hovered at 50,000. अगर consistently ही है तो ये तो उसको बोलेगा कि भाई change करते हैं. So E is out. So the answer is D, right? Great. Just 2 weeks before the flagship event, Adil received a few emails from competing media agencies that accused ZDS of selling phony tickets in the black market, right? ओके. दो हफ्ते पहले फ्लैगशिप इवेंट के आदिल को एक मेल आता है फ्रॉम कंपीटिंग मीडिया एजेंसी. बहुत सारी मीडिया एजेंसीज है ना. आदिल इज द सीईओ. एंड ही गेट फ्यू ईमेल्स फ्रॉम द कंपीटिंग मीडिया एजेंसीज, जैसे कि जीडीएस की बहुत सारी कंपटीटर्स होंगी कि जीडीएस जो है वो फोनी टिकट्स ब्लैक मार्केट में सेल करता है. When Adil inquired with the security agency in charge of gatekeeping the events, they told him that they had no mechanism to check the authenticity of the tickets. कि वो ये नहीं बता सकते कि कोई टिकट ऑथेंटिक है या नहीं टिकट है. सो बेसिकली अभी आप ये कंफर्म नहीं कर सकते कि वो ब्लैक मार्केट से टिकट आ रही है या नहीं आ रही है. तो ये बात का प्रूफ नहीं हो सकता आदिल को, आदिल ने जब चेक किया, क्योंकि हमको पता ही नहीं है कि टिकट ऑथेंटिक है या नहीं है. हो सकता है सारी ऑथेंटिक हो, राइट, हो सकता है सारी ऑथेंटिक ना हो. तो यू कैन नॉट कम टू अ कंक्लूजन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट. Which of the following options will best help Adil to ignore the accusations from competing media agencies and maintain status quo? कि आदिल इग्नोर कर देगा एक्यूजेशंस जो आई हैं. इन तिवाना द कंपीटिंग मीडिया एजेंसीज कीप डिफेमिंग ईच अदर आउट ऑफ फेयर कंपटीशन. अगर टिवाना में कंपीटिंग मीडिया एजेंसीज एक दूसरे को डिफेम करती रहती है तो हो सकता है ये भी उसका ही पार्ट हो, क्योंकि मैं कंफर्म ही नहीं कर पाया हूं कि जो उन्होंने बोला है वो एक्चुअल में सही है या नहीं. सो ए इज एन ओकेश ऑप्शन टू होल्ड ऑन टू. टिवाना बीइंग अ स्मॉल सिटी, अ फ्यू प्रोमिनेंट पर्सनालिटीज हैव टू बी अलाउड इन विदाउट द टिकट्स. अगर आप अलाउ इन कर पा रहे हैं, ठीक है, विदाउट द टिकट्स, दैट मीन्स कुछ ना कुछ तो घपला है. तो मैं एक्यूजेशन को इग्नोर कैसे कर सकता हूँ? बट मुझे तो एक्यूजेशन को इग्नोर करना है. ZDS is the largest media agency in Tivana. It is the largest media agency in Tivana. How will it help me to ignore the accusation? This is out. Some attendees admitted to paying cash to gatekeepers to get in. अगर कुछ लोग कैश दे रहे हैं तो मैं इग्नोर नहीं कर सकता हूँ ये accusations. ZDS promises a particular threshold of ticket sales as decided by Truecaller. अगर ZDS जो है, ठीक है, एक पर्टिकुलर थ्रेशोल्ड ऑफ टिकट सेल्स को लाइक लेके आ रहा है मेरे पास में, तो मैं इसको इग्नोर कर सकता हूँ. वेल दैट्स नॉट ट्रू, बिकॉज पोटेंशियल है ग्रो करने का, तो ग्रो क्यों नहीं हो रही है टिकट्स? तो मैं इस बेसिस पे इग्नोर नहीं कर सकता, बट हाँ मैं ए के बेसिस पे इग्नोर जरूर कर सकता हूँ. सो ए हैज टू बी माय आंसर, राइट? ओके. The following year, Sukanta discussed with Adil that unless they got into ticket selling process, they might not be able to improve the ticket numbers. However, this would mean moving away from ZDS, and the transition could cause short-term pain since Truecaller would be entering into uncharted territory. है ना? ये uncharted territory में आ जाएंगे. अब मतलब खुद का ही start कर लेते हैं. Further, Sukanta added that Truecaller would achieve self-sufficiency over couple of years. So कुछ time लगेगा stability आने में. Adil was concerned about the risk of taking over an activity that the organization was not competent at, but understood Sukanta's point. In the interest of building long-term competencies, he authorized Sukanta to take it forward. Sukanta did not renew ZDS contract in the following. Renew ही नहीं किया उन्होंने year following year में. Instead, he recruited a skeletal team of 3 freshers from a premier B school as a support staff. Okay. As the event approached, the team dedicated themselves to executing their plan. However, by the time the ticket sales window closed, they managed to sell only 40,000 tickets. So 10,000 tickets less than what ZDS used to do. This shift in strategy provoked considerable dissent within the company, challenging Sukanta's decision. Sukanta के decision को challenge करने लग पड़े, है ना, company वाले. Disturbed by the situation, witnessing the internal turmoil, Adil must now navigate the company's immediate reaction. Right? Adil must address this. Which of the following should now be Adil's best course of action? Adil को क्या करना चाहिए? He should make Sukanta and his team to go back to ZDS immediately. Well, you along with Sukanta have taken a call, and Sukanta has mentioned that Truecaller would achieve self-sufficiency, but it will take a lot of time, right? It will take some time over a couple of years because they are not confident at it, right? So you cannot expect the results to be as immediate as it should be, right? So A is out. He should dismiss Sukanta's team and let the earlier. You cannot dismiss it because you know that the process is still, it's in the growing stage. He should threaten Sukanta. That's not even an answer. Extreme options are not the suggestions. That if sales do not improve by next year, he and his team will be fired. While they have already told you that sales will not improve for the couple of years because it's going to take some time. So C is out. He should engage a different media agency which is working for Truecaller's main competitor. No. Truecaller के main competitor की media, no, they want to basically own it, right? They don't want any media agency right now. He should wait and watch as the investment in Sukanta may need more time to bear result. Yes, that's what they told. So he should wait and watch for the results, right? E has to be the correct answer. Okay. Ned Flanders and Homer Simpsons Limited is a law firm known for its unwavering commitment to client satisfaction. They treat the clients as family members who have grown along with the firm. Further, they are highly regarded in the industry, consulted by the country's top organizations. Among the founders, Homer Simpson is flamboyant while Ned Flanders is serious. Together, they bring a dynamic balance to the team. The organization believes in a strong socialization ritual that bonds the new lawyers with the existing members. Okay. Also, the socialization ritual ensures that newcomers fully understand the nature of their work and integrate seamlessly into the company's culture. ठीक है, सोशलाइजेशन रिचुअल होता है, नए लॉयर्स आ रहे हैं, उनको अच्छे से ट्रीट करना. ड्यूरिंग देयर फर्स्ट वीक न्यू कमर्स आर ओवरलोडेड विद अ बराज ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल टास्क, अनएक्सपेक्टेड क्लाइंट कॉल्स एंड चैलेंजिंग मीटिंग विद द फाउंडर्स. इतना ज्यादा काम उनको पहले हफ्ते में दे दिया जाता है. दिस रिजल्ट्स इन न्यू कमर्स गेटिंग ओवरवेल्म्ड एंड डाउटिंग देयर डिसीजन टू जॉइन द फर्म, only for the founders to meet them and reveal that this is one big prank and a way to welcome them to the organization. This socialization ritual has served them well for the past 2 decades. However, not all the newcomers appreciate the utility of this ritual. Definitely, because this is something you are doing, this ritual is working out for you, but this is not appreciated by all of them, right? One of the lawyers, Miss Lisa Simpleton, who joined in 2023 and went through the same socialization ritual, found it unwelcoming. She joined in 2023 and she actually found it unwelcoming. This is not welcoming. She believes that other newcomers might also share the same opinion, right? So she is thinking that, other people who have been experiencing the same thing, they might be experiencing the same opinion. Lisa thinks that the current generation, especially post-COVID, needs more friendly welcome and the firm must put an end to this ritual. Yes, you are a post-COVID kid. You won't be needing this sort of welcome. You need more friendly welcome. So when a new batch of lawyers join in 2024, Lisa feels that it is her moral responsibility to reprieve the newcomers from the ensuing stress. She felt that she should notify these people, right? And it's a responsibility to make sure that they are not feeling stressed of this entire social culture which the company has in the first week. However, Lisa, like the others who joined along with her, is on probation for 2 years. So when a person is on probation, he or she is supposed to be the good books. During the probation period, her skills and performance are under evaluation. Upon successful completion of this 2 year assessment, she will be eligible for confirmation. Since she is yet to be confirmed, she wants to be seen as fitting within the organization's culture. Okay, so she wants that, okay, she actually is a part of the organization culture. She wants to be seen like that. She doesn't want to be singled out. Which of the following options will best enable Lisa to save the newcomers from socialization ritual? So she wants to make sure that she is saving the people from the socialization ritual without being singled out for questioning the organization's culture. And she should not be singled out. That means she should be catering to both the things, preventing the newcomers from the socialization ritual, and she should not be singled out. Meet one of the newcomers in secret and tell her about this practice. If you're meeting one of the newcomers in secret, that means you're doing something unethical, right? And primarily, if that newcomer actually exposes you to everyone else, you will definitely be singled out, right? And here you are not even saving the newcomers in that way, right? Just by just telling about the practice. So this is out. Seek a meeting with Ned Flanders. You directly go to the CEO, suggesting him to put an end to this practice. Well, CEO might agree, might not agree. Okay, there are chances, but you will be singled out for sure. So this is out. Join a team of lawyers petitioning to the founders to end this practice. Well, if you are in a team of lawyers, that means you are not being singled out. You're not singled out at all. You are petitioning to the founders to end this practice. That means you are enabling, you are saving the newcomers from the socialization ritual. This is a great option. Organize a generic workshop for newcomers regarding workplace politics. Now, if you're organizing a generic workshop for newcomers regarding the politics, first of all, it's not even addressing the concern of the socialization ritual. Second thing is you will definitely be singled out because you have organized that generic workshop. So, well, this is against the question. Be silent this year until her performance review is over and she is confirmed. That means if you're silent for this year, that means you're not doing anything. You're not helping anyone right now. And if you're not helping anyone, well, let me tell you that this is something which is against the question. So this is also out. Answer has to be option C, right? When a new batch of lawyers joins the organization in 2024, they receive an anonymous email warning them about the socialization ritual just as it is about to start. So they get an anonymous email. How could they get an anonymous email which actually warns them about the socialization ritual? So no newcomer paid heed to the mail. The founders are furious. Well, they will be, because their socialization ritual, which was supposed to be a secret for the first week, it is already exposed now. They call a meeting and announce that while employees are welcome to express their opinions, and this cowardly act of sending an anonymous email shall not be tolerated. Well, why it should be tolerated, right? You are welcome to express your opinions, but then are you sending the anonymous emails and then you are expecting the founders not to be furious? That is something which is not correct. The water cooler discussions murmur Lisa's name. Well, Lisa might be the one who might be doing this. Lisa is pleased that someone shares her perspective on the socialization ritual and has acted. Well, she's okay with the fact that somebody has mailed, but she is not the one who has mailed it. However, she did not write the aforementioned email. As her name continues to be mentioned, she feels overwhelmed and wonders if she needs to do something about it. Well, she definitely needs to do something about it, because she is not the culprit. And the thing is, because her name is pronounced, it indicates that she might have written that email, but she has not written the email, so she needs to justify her stand, right? Which of the following actions by Lisa can best enable her to diffuse the situation? She needs to diffuse the situation, and the option should be the best available option. She should meet the founders and share that while she has reservations about the practice, she did not send the anonymous email. Founders are furious. If founders are furious, that means you are supposed to go directly to the founders and talk to them. And if your name is being pronounced, you have to tell them that yes, you are against the practice. You have reservations about the practice, but you are not the one who has sent the anonymous email. You are just owning the fact that you are against this, but you are also owning the fact that you have not sent it to the anonymous email, and you are going to the right stakeholders because they are furious. A is a good option. She should send a public email clarifying that while she has reservations about the practice, she is not the author of the anonymous email. Tell me one thing. You are sending a public email clarifying your stance, right? And why you need to send a public email if you haven't done anything, just because your name is being murmured, and the first option is actually going directly to the founders. Here, if you are not going directly to the founders, you're sending a public email. So you are indicating to the founders that you might be the culprit, right? Rather than option A is making more sense, that you are going to the founders and claiming that you are not the one. Bees out. She should publicly apologize for having questioned the tradition of the organization to put all the doubts to rest. If you publicly apologize, why you are publicly apologizing? You haven't done any mistake, my dear. So C is out. She should simply focus on her work and hope that the founders would ignore the rumors. Well, that's not something which is going to happen. You cannot just sit idle and do nothing about it when your name is being murmured. That means D is absolutely wrong. She should apologize to the founders, taking accountability for creating a climate that resulted in someone sending the anonymous email. Well, I apologize to the founders for what? For just being against that policy, for not doing any crime or not doing any email. I should be apologizing. Why I'm apologizing? I haven't done any mistake. A is still a better option. Answer has to be option A, right? It is 2025. A new batch of lawyers has joined the firm. Some lawyers from 2024 batch have approached the founders to express their appreciation for the intent behind the socialization ritual. Okay, they shared that the experience offered them a glimpse of the world they are about to enter. However, they feel that the ritual has become archaic in its execution, showing its age and necessitating some fresh thinking. Definitely, they are expressing their concern, the 2024 batch. As they leave, Ned feels that the time has come to abandon the ritual due to changing times. So, Ned, as a founder, thought this is the time to change what we have been doing. However, Homer disagrees. He thinks that exposing the employees to what the profession has to offer in the first week is very critical. Moreover, it helps the organization know, it helps the organization know whether the newcomer is ready for such a profession or not. Further, he adds that the socialization ritual has been effectively helping them for decades in grooming the talents of their organization. So the socialization ritual should be intact, right? That's what Homer is saying. Which of the following options should the founders best take if they still want to welcome their newcomers? They want to welcome their newcomers by exposing them to the harsh reality. So that means socialization ritual should be there. while being empathetic to the demands of the times, that and they should be listening to the newer ones as well. Option A, they should talk to their competitors in the same industry and check what kind of practices they follow. First of all, it's been working of them. They are doing something pretty unique. Why should they talk to their competitors when they know that, what can be the ideal solution? And what are their competitor situation? You're not even aware about that. A cannot be a correct answer. They should stick to what they're doing, but hire a mental health professional who the newcomers can refer to if they feel the need. They should stick to what they're doing. That means they're not even empathizing with what the younger people or the 2024 batch has to say, right? Okay. And you're hiring a mental health professional who the newcomers can refer to if they feel the need. Well, that's fine. But, we are not even talking about being empathetic to the demands of the times. This is out. They should invite suggestions from their young lawyers regarding formulating a new socialization ritual. This is a great option because you are, first of all, being intact with your socialization ritual, though it is new, but it will be a ritual which will expose you to the harsh reality of the profession. And you are also inviting the suggestions from the young lawyers. That means you're still sticking to the process, but you're taking into consideration what the young lawyers have to say. So, this is a great option. They should get a mental health professional to design their socialization ritual. That means you are giving everything to the mental health professional to do. That is not something which you are supposed to do or which you need to do, because you have to understand that you have to create this by taking the inputs from the younger lawyers. So this is out. They should in their website share details about how tough the workload is going to be. Well, writing in their websites about how tough the workload is going to be, how will it be a best decision for the founders to make sure that they are catering to these two things, welcoming their newcomers by exposing them to the harsh reality and empathetic to the demands of the times. They are not even listening to what the younger lawyers have to say in option E. This is out. C has to be the correct answer. And that's where we wrap up the decision making of 2025. Hope you guys enjoyed this session and you guys learned a lot that how we approach the answers, how we are sticking to only those 6 tools and still able to get all the answers correct. Great, then all the best for the XAT exam, everyone. And if you have any questions or if you like the video, definitely comment it. Bye bye, take care, and have a great day. See you then.